Forget the gaslight. I'm running away with Ty. Ty, come on, let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Rafael and I am here to review the season 15 finale, episode 16 of The Real Housewives whose husband is in love with their cousin of Atlanta. So we start the finale off with a fast forward of back in March of 2023 where it was announced that Ralph and Drew are getting a divorce. So Bravo had to pick up the cameras to film the fallout. Drew, she's getting ready to film a confessional and the producer asked her, so before payday this upcoming Friday, do you need to let us know anything going on between you and Ralph in your marriage? Drew, she's looking worried, and then we see a bunch of flashbacks of their marriage falling apart on the show. And then we also see her being questioned again, like, oh, have you ever kissed a girl? She says no, even though she's caught on camera saying the complete opposite at a previous reunion. So I'm not really sure what Drew is getting at with that. So then we flash back to the current time of this season, January. We see Candy and Todd, they're talking about their movie, The Past, that just came out on Peacock, which I do want to watch to support, and I do want to review it at some point. But I don't have a Peacock account, so, but trust me, it's gonna get watched one way or another. So Candy's asking Todd, how many people do you wanna see at the movie premiere? So then Todd, he says about 100 people, that's it. Then we see Sonia, she's going to the hospital again to check on her pregnancy, the heartbeat of the baby. And this was very sad foreshadowing to what we see with Sonia and her current pregnancy that we're seeing now at the end of this episode. So it was very hard to watch this scene. She's at the doctor, she's getting ready, she's laying on the bed. Then we see Dr. Marlo. Dr. Marlo pops in, she tells Sonia, hey Sonia, hey baby, I came to support you and your pregnancy. This is gonna be a thing between me and you. This is our bond, we're bonding right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, Marlo. It's cute to have your friends support you, but where's Ross? So then Dr. Jackie pops in, and I said it last week that I love the Married to Medicine theme song, but then I was wondering, how are they gonna incorporate Phaedra for the upcoming intro for next season? Now paging Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Simone. Oh, and Phaedra. Dr. Jackie tells her that she needs to come back to check on the heartbeat of the baby because as of now, she's unsure about it. And Sonia, she's impatient. She's telling her, oh, come on now, doctor. You can't tell me anything now. Like, I already told my son Deuce he's excited about it. And I mean, Sonia, like I said last week, I get it and it's your pregnancy and I get that you're excited to tell your son Deuce and I'm pretty sure he's excited too, but you should have just waited a little bit longer because now, unfortunately, look how this plays out in the end. Then we head over to the circus that is Ralph and Drew's house. Drew, she's in her bedroom eating. She's excited because she just got the text from Don Juan telling her the details about the movie premiere. So then Ralph, who we already know he's moved out of their bedroom, he's sleeping somewhere else in the house. He comes in, so she tells him, we're done with filming. I don't need to stay out late anymore. Are you gonna come back into the bedroom with me? Because apparently that has been his excuse this entire time for moving out the bedroom in the first place. Because Drew, she'll be filming her movie late at night. She'll come home at 3 in the morning and then he'll be sleeping and then he'll wake up. He couldn't get proper sleep, so he thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna go to a different room and that's that. But now that the movie's over, he's like, well, I mean, I'm not really sure. I'm more comfortable this way. Let's just leave it like that. And so she moves the conversation like, you know what? Well, you know, Moneta, she actually sent me the video of, what's her name? Cousin Courtney. She called me a bitch and I just don't appreciate that. Even though in the video, she was not calling Drew a bitch. She was calling Sonia a bitch, playfully, right? Well, Ralph, this is strike 2. And actually, no, this is strike, let's see, multiply by 2. Are we including last season? Let's include last season. Plus, this is your 1,463 strike. At this point, maybe I lost count, but Ralph, he goes on to say, okay, I don't get it. Like, Courtney called you a bitch. What's the problem? Drew, you're way better than me because the second that he would have said that, all his shit would have been packed up and flung out the window. I would have grabbed his nice shoes, his expensive watches. Well, maybe not that. You know, I could pawn that. I'll grab his shoes, his pants. Here you go. That's one shoe. That's another shoe. That's another. That's a shirt. Ooh, that's a nice Versace shirt. Here's his tuxedo that he used for the confessional last season. And then on top of that, if you really wanted to be petty and really get even with him, you should have just screamed it out right then and confessed. You know what? That's why Ty eats my pussy better than you. Allegedly, but you know, no, she just kept quiet and she was just shocked, like, wow, really? Like, you don't really care that Courtney called me a bitch? And he's like, well, you know, Marlo called you a bitch, Kenya called you a bitch, everybody called you a bitch. And at this point, you know, to me personally, and this is all allegedly and speculations and, you know, conspiracy theory, but I feel like Courtney got a taste of the cousin cock. Not cock. You know, because the way Ralph is going so, you know, he's so eager to defend her. Like, she didn't do anything to me. Why should I flip on her or anybody else for calling you a bitch? And I'm like, you two are married. I mean, I'm not saying like you have to blindly be loyal to your wife or husband, but damn, Ralph, at least do the bare minimum. But Drew, she gets upset. She goes downstairs to where her sister, Allison, aka Backup, she's in the kitchen and everything. And she's like, what's going on? What's happening, Drew? Drew's like, you know what? It's nothing. It's whatever. Ralph, he comes downstairs and then he tries to, you know, comfort her. But Drew, she's getting all worked up and emotional and she starts kind of tearing up. Allison, I'm not really sure if you saw Allison, what she had in her hand. She had 2 blades. She had too many knives and she was pissed off looking at Ralph. And I'm like, lady, put the knife down. This is why I feel that Ralph kicked Allison out the house, because he knew that she was Drew's backbone. And without her in the way or being in the house, he could just bulldoze Drew whenever he feels like it. Drew, she's getting emotional. Her sister, on the other hand, she's fighting for her. And she's like, look, Ralph, if somebody calls Drew a banana and she doesn't like it, you're supposed to defend it. Like, you know what? Yeah, my wife doesn't like being called that, so stop it. But Ralph, again, he's playing stupid. At this point, he's not even playing stupid. He is stupid. And he's just going along with the whole, oh, well, you know what? It's really not that big of a deal. Like, we all call each other bitches or whatever. It's not that big of an issue. And Drew, she's getting all worked up. She starts crying. She tells the producer, you know what? Can you just take my mic off? Wait, what do you mean they're going to dox my pay? Okay, keep my mic on. I'm just going to go upstairs to the bathroom really quickly. So Drew, she goes upstairs. She's just over the whole situation. So we're left with Allison and Ralph. And Allison, whoo! You know, if for some reason this cast or Drew comes back next season, Allison needs to be a friend of or a peach holder, because she gets into his face and she's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to my sister? Like, you know that what she's going through. And look, Ralph, he's going against her like, well, I didn't really do anything. And Allison, she just pissed off. She storms off upstairs and I'm like, Allison, I see some potential in you. So we see Sheree and her daughter Tiara driving around town. She's asking her what did she think about Mecca's party that she threw for her, as well as Bob, her father, introducing this new daughter that he has to the whole family. Come to find out that Tiara already knew about this new daughter because she's very close to her father, Bob, and they had a whole dinner and that's how she met her. But my thing is, how do you not report that back to your mother and give her a heads up like, hey, by the way, Dad, he has a daughter that you don't know about and she's gonna be showing up at Mecca's party. I want you to know so that way you're not blindsided. Like, it's literally that simple. But you know, between me and my mother, the second that I even find out anything scandalous is going on in my family, I call her up like, hey mom, did you hear about my cousin? I heard that she's sleeping with a hairdresser. Is it true? You know, but apparently I guess Sheree really didn't. Okay, sorry everybody. That usually goes off when I'm talking about some bullshit. Because that's exactly what this is. Like, Sheree, you really mean to tell me that you really didn't know about this daughter? Like, then we head over to Kenya's house to watch the scraps that they managed to put together involving her, because at this point, production is refusing to show anything of Kenya this season, right? So she's there with her father and Brooklyn, and the interaction between them was very cute. How he told Brooklyn, look, Brooklyn, it's a little doll. She corrected him quickly, like, that's not a doll, that's a magnet. So she starts talking about her embryos because apparently, from what it seems, production is only allowing Kenya to talk about either Mark, embryos, hair salon, no. So she starts talking about her embryos and how she wants to get a surrogate and she doesn't want to put her body through that again because last time it was borderline deadly. So she wants to know her father's opinion on it. He doesn't really know what to think about it. So he asks Kenya, what does Mark think about this whole situation? But Kenya doesn't really care about his input because she's going to do it regardless. It's just, I'm not, like I've been saying this entire season, Kenya, I'm not sure if that's the best route to go with dealing with baby number 2 from Mark, because you see the living hell that he has put you through with Brooklyn. Do you really want to put yourself down the same path again for a second time? And I already discussed how production cut out all of Kenya's hair salon scenes this season in my last video, the one with her and Carlos King, their interview. And even though I said it in the video, I love Kenya and she'll forever be my forever favorite. You know, Kenya did act above this whole entire show, this whole entire cast, this entire season, just like Nene did. And look what happened to her. You know, Kenya kept acting like, oh, you know, you're just looking for a moment. You're just looking for a moment. I'm not going to give you a moment. I'm just going to look away and not give you a moment. But I mean, without those moments, without any type of interaction on the show, what are we watching? We're not going to have a show, Kenya. You know, you should have just, you know, just like Candy. Look at Candy. She's using this show as a commercial, yet she's willing to give everybody on the show an equal moment. Like, okay, Courtney, you want to come at me? Okay, I'll come at you. Marlo, you want to come at me? Fine, I'll come back at you. And that's that. And then we kept it pushing, right? You should have just done the same thing and then also promote your hair salon, because I'm pretty sure that production was looking at Candy like, you know, Candy, she's giving us something to work with. You know, she's interacting with the cast. Okay, fine, we'll promote her sex line. Kenya, you're not giving us anything. You're not interacting with anybody. You're thinking that you're way too above everything on the show. We're just gonna scrap all of your scenes, and that's that. You know, the same thing that Kenya did to Nene, how she kept poking fun at her at the reunion. You know, the cyber reunion when they had to zoom in. She kept telling Nene, oh, you know, Nene, you're just being phased out. They're not giving you many episodes. Ha, ha, ha. You were laughing at her. And now the same thing is happening to you. And I'm pretty sure that it doesn't feel good, right? It's unfortunate because I don't think that Kenya's coming back next season. You know, especially with the reports. Did anybody see the reports going around online that they're rebooting this whole entire show for next season and we're getting like fresh new peaches? I mean, I'm here for it, but maybe that's why Candy announced on her Speak on This show that, you know, Candy and the gang is coming back for season 2 because she has her bags packed. She's like, my peach is coming with me onto a different show. But, you know, it's just really unfortunate because I had some type of hope, a slight bit of hope that maybe they were going to throw in like a 10-minute scene of Kenya at the hair salon this episode, but we only got it in a flashback, and it really sucks for her. And I also blame production for only focusing on the drama aspect of the Housewives universe. Like, yes, drama is going to come naturally on the show because it's a given, but I feel like that's the only thing that they focus on, like drama, scandal, cheating, going to jail. And I'm only describing Jen Shah. You know, what happened to the luxurious lifestyles, the shopping, the lavish trips, the money, the wealth, the richness? Now we have Martell coming onto the show asking for cash apps, like... Like, what is that? And again, I feel like if it's not anything, you know, involving drama, to the audience, they're looking at the show like, oh, this is boring. This is boring. This is a filler episode, because that's all we're accustomed to now. When back in the day, you know, the good old days, you know, we would see them just shopping around, birthday parties, doing nothing. And it was fun to us. But now, I don't know, at some point we kind of lost our way. And now all we care for is drama and scandal and cheating. So we need to get back to the richness, the rich and famous lifestyles. We see Marlo at La Archive having a garage sale, and she's organizing a couple of things. She lets us know again for the 100th time that Tammy Roman is her client, her only client it seems, and that she's dressing her up. And, you know, could you imagine Marlo and Tammy Roman on the show together, like Tammy as a peach holder or a friend of? I mean, could you imagine? What a duo. But supposedly Tammy Roman, she couldn't join the show. She said it on Carlos King's interview. She also did an interview with him. And she said that she tried out for the show because she wanted to be on the show. But production told her, you're too close to Basketball Wives and that's your brand. So if you come over here, it's going to be clashing both brands together. So no, and just a missed opportunity. But yet we got Moneta. She's also styling Garcelle from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I thought that was cool. And then Scott Lee. You know, he walks in and, just give me 1 second. Sorry, I got a little parched. He comes in and, you know, Marlo, she's like, baby, I'm so glad to see you, baby. Come over here. Oh, baby, I'm so glad to see you. I can't believe this. You just flew in now. And then production is trying to question Marlo in the confessional, like, wait, so is he your boyfriend? Is he not your boyfriend? Is he your boyfriend? And Marlo, she's smart because, you know, the summertime was right around the corner from when they were done filming this. So she was just like, no, he's just something to do when there's nothing to do. So then at the very bottom of the screen, they put boyfriend, not boyfriend, I don't know. And you know, honestly, as much as I was rooting for Marlo and Scott Lee to be a thing, this episode kind of clarified it for me that it seems so forced and I don't really see any connection between them. Like, I don't see a fire. It's just kind of like, they're just there just to be there, but nothing more. It's just for show, unfortunately, but... whatever, you know, if she has to fake it for next season for him to still be on the show, I'm willing to go along with it. So they're sitting down. Marlo, she says that she got a text message from Candy inviting her to her rap party. She's going. She's asking Scott Lee if she could come with, if he could come with. Oh my goodness, you see what that man does to me? has me stuttering all over the place. So he's just like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm down to go, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, stop. You are. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to text Candy right now that me and you are going together. And I'm like, oh, okay. But, you know, I'm still not buying it. Then we see Ralph and Drew heading to counseling together this time. And I know that Dr. Ken, as soon as he sees the car approaching the parking lot, I know he's looking out the window like, oh no, not again. Let me take 2 Advils and put some Vaseline on my forehead. Like, I know he is just so drained after talking to both of them. So they come in. I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Maybe it goes somewhere. Surprise, it doesn't. So they're sitting down, and I believe they start talking about how Ralph has moved out of their room. And, you know, Drew, she feels lonely. She feels alone. How does Ralph feel? He feels liberated. Like, Ralph has some nerve. He has the audacity. Like again, you know that you're being filmed, and yet you're still putting out your trash behavior. Again, he's just so over this whole marriage. And Dr. Ken, he goes on to tell Ralph, like, explain your feelings. And Ralph is a typical toxic man because he would talk in these long-winded conversations, and he'll just talk in circles to try to, like, confuse you as if he's trying to say something of importance, but he's not. He's just trying to gaslight you into making it seem like as if you're crazy. He goes on to say, you know what, Dr. Ken and Drew, you know, I just feel like with my wife, she has a problem with the heat and everything. And I like my heat at a lower 80 and a half. And, you know, the sky is blue, the grass is green. I like cheeseburgers with cheese, sometimes with no cheese, with a little bit of ketchup and mayo. And I just feel like sometimes we fathom our feelings in an inner circle to the point where we can't fathom too much because it exercises our will to live. And I'm like, what? Again, he's just talking and talking and talking as if he's saying something, but he's not saying anything. But then he adds the cherry on top by telling Drew, you have friends that don't sleep in the same bedroom together either, so I don't see what the issue is. Drew, she was just like, they also filed for divorce. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe Ralph is gonna understand. No, he says, well, I mean, everybody files for divorce. Like, Ralph, get the fuck off the show. And we go from the counseling session right to the rap party as if nothing happened between Ralph and Drew. I mean, they're just walking into the building. Even Don Juan, he tells Drew, oh, I thought you were going to leave him behind. So did we, Don Juan. So did we. But I like the decorations that they had on the sidewalk, you know, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the stars with everybody's name on it. We had Drew Sidora, Candy Burrs, and everybody else. So Drew, she's walking in, she's greeting everybody, but, you know, we have a little mystery person right there to the side by the name of Ty. You know, even though she's a part of the movie as well, it was very interesting seeing, you know, Drew hugging on the person that allegedly, you know, she's messing around with her husband right next to her. Like, that is crazy. And, you know, I used to be a side chick, so well, only for a couple of hours, but I know what it's like to be in Ty's place. But Ty, do y'all think that she whispered anything to Drew when she hugged her? Like, hey, Drew, how are you? Yeah, I'm gonna see you later tonight, right? But like I said before, if Drew happens to be cheating on Ralph or Ty, allegedly, then so be it. I don't care because Ralph, he got away with doing X, Y, and Z in Tampa, and we never got an explanation from that. So you know what? At this point, it's tit for tat. Or in Drew's case, it's tit for tit. But everybody's arriving. They're all looking good. Kenya looks good in her outfit. Cynthia looks beautiful with her bob. She's with a mystery man, by the way. And I'm like, uh-oh, Cynthia, is this a new man that you're going to be divorcing in like 2 years? Who's this? But no, come to find out that he's just a hairstylist and he's just doing her hair and not doing her. Shamia, Moneta, Sonia, Sheree, and Marlo all show up. Moneta had one of my favorite looks of the night. I love the pink velour jacket that she had on. Sheree, I love the messy blonde hair. I see what she's going for, and I love that look on her personally. Marlo can never do wrong when it comes to fashion, so of course she looks beautiful. She shows up, Scott Lee's also there, and even though they don't have any chemistry, you know, it was still cute to kind of see them together, at least faking it for the cameras, and she greets everybody, including Kenya, but she doesn't see her. She's just like, oh, hey, everybody, hey, Kenya, hey, everybody. And then we have Allison, who's there to support Drew and also there to whoop a bitch's ass just in case. Because Allison is just standing there in the crowd like this, right? The whole entire time she's unbothered. She has a serious look to her, right? And then Courtney pops up. She's greeting everybody like, hey Marlo, hey Sonia, how are you? Hey Kenya, Candy, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I can't wait to see your movie, The Past. I'm gonna rent it. Oh my God, is it gonna be on Netflix? Oh, hey Allison, come over here. As soon as she tried to even greet Allison, she stepped back like, eh. I'm like, Courtney, don't touch her, because the second that you touch her, pop. Allison was just like, no, I don't want to greet you right now because you called my sister a bitch. And you know, at this point, I really do feel that maybe Bravo messed up by giving Drew a peach and not giving her sister a peach, because her sister's actually bringing the energy. She's actually bringing a moment to the show. She was just like, no, we're not doing that right now. So Courtney was just like, okay, so do you want to talk to the side? Let's go over here and talk together. Courtney starts taking the blame for it. Like, yes, I did call your sister that. I'm sorry. Can we just move on? Simply because she wanted Allison and Drew to drop this whole topic altogether. And I mean, I get it, Courtney, but at the same time, if you genuinely didn't call Drew that, and we see it on the footage that you didn't, why confess to that in the first place? Like, that just makes you look terrible to them. But Drew, she pops in out of nowhere like, hey, Allison, do we need to jump her? Like, what's going on? Allison is just like, no, I got this. You know, I'm watching her with my eye. If she swings on me, I got her. So then eventually nothing really came about that besides Allison telling her, don't call her a bitch again. That's that. And Courtney, if I was you, I wouldn't do that because, you know, Allison seems like she's not playing around. So then we get a slow motion shot of the one and only, the Queen of Atlanta. No, not Nene, but Mama Joyce. She's coming in. Security, we got an intruder. She's coming in with her fur coat and already she's going up to Cynthia. She's grabbing her hands like, oh my God, is that a wedding ring? Now, Mama Joyce, you know you probably saw the news. Candy probably informed you like, hey, Cynthia's getting a divorce. You probably knew. You were just probably trying to be shady. If I was Cynthia, I would have turned it right back on you like, oh no, I just got a divorce, but what about you? Where's your man? So eventually we see Candy, she's talking to Mama Joyce, and she was just like, oh, well, you know, everything going on between Todd and my mom. You know, it's still a little rocky, but my mom is going to counseling. Okay, Candy, okay, if everybody comes back for next season, I'm pretty sure it'll be the same thing between Mama Joyce and Todd. But who knows, Mama Joyce might surprise us. So next thing you know, we see Drew, she's on stage, she's getting ready to perform her hit song. Already know that that's my favorite Housewives song, I think out of all the Housewives songs. Cause you already know, oh. Cause you already know that it's yours. But you know what would have shocked me though? If right before she started singing, Mimi Foss, Ty's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever she is at the moment, she'll pop up on stage to surprise Drew and she has a microphone. Excuse me, can I please talk to you for a minute? Yeah, sure, you look kind of familiar. Yeah, you do too. But I just wanted you to know, do you know somebody by the name of, oh, you know her name. Oh, I definitely know her name. Well, I just want you to know, Drew, she's mine. No, she's not. She's mine. You need to give it up. I mean, could you imagine and then have Ty right there in the middle? Now, that would have been a finale, but, you know, she's singing as we're seeing the exits of everybody. We see Candy. She's producing a new Broadway play called The Wiz, and I'm pretty sure that Candy will be an EGOT winner sometime in the nearby future. Then we get to Kenya, and this was painful to watch because they finally put her hair salon scenes in, but in flashbacks, and it was only for a couple of seconds, and they did Kenya so dirty. I mean, I still stand with everything I said earlier, but I mean, production, if you knew that you were not gonna ask Kenya back for next season, or if you knew that you were slowly trying to phase her out, the least, and I'm talking about the least you could have done is at least given her maybe 2 or 3 episodes dedicated to her hair salon as a send-off gift, as a goodbye gift for giving you some of the most iconic seasons that the Real Housewives of Atlanta has ever shown on TV. I mean, season 5, 6, 7, they were all iconic because she played a big role in those seasons. Yet this is how they repay her. You know, Kenya, if I was you, I would not come back to this show whatsoever for next season. Even if they do call you, don't come back because it's very clear. They made it very clear this season that they were going to phase you out. They don't want you here. So if I was you, I wouldn't go somewhere where I'm not wanted. And that's that. So I'm wishing her the best with her hair salon. As for Marlo, we go to Marlo. Marlo, she's still trying to get her record expunged. She's still with Scott Lee. Okay, so then Sheree, they put, she is still committed to Martell as friends. And let's play a game, okay? What excuse do you think that Sheree is going to give at the reunion for the reason why that her and Martell are not together? This is mine. I feel like she's gonna tell Andy, Well, you know what? I feel like over time, me and Martell, we realized that we're two different people, and you know, we have differences, and that's okay, but we're still very close friends. That's gonna be her reason. Watch. Everything went well with Kandi and Todd's rap party. Everybody loved the trailer. They were so impressed, and that was that. 4 months later, they pick up the cameras again, like I said, and we see Marlo. She's in front of her laptop. She's reading the breakout news of what's going on with Ralph and Drew, and she's just like, oh my God, I can't believe this. What? They're getting a divorce? Oh no, let me call Sheree. So she calls Sheree. We see Kenya, we see Sonya, we see Kandi. They're all shocked at the news, like what's going on, what's happening. We see Kandi. She's saying, oh my God, I can't believe what's going on between Drew and Ralph. I mean, I saw the headline on the news, but I didn't really think that they were gonna get a divorce. And then we see Sonya. You know, we go from that and then we go to Sonya. Sonya, she's talking to Ross about, you know, the whole divorce situation, the announcement online. And then we get a little bit more in depth of her pregnancy, and she had a miscarriage, unfortunately, you know, a really bad miscarriage, because I believe she explained that on the after show on YouTube. She even went back to Dr. Jackie, who confirmed to her that the baby was not growing. And her and Ross, at first, they were not going to tell Deuce about it because he doesn't really know the timeline of a baby. But then the more Deuce kept going up to her stomach and praying on the stomach, the more she felt guilty, and she had to come out with it and tell him that, yeah, mommy had a miscarriage, and that broke Deuce down. He started crying, and it's just a really, really sad story. Again, I really do feel for Sonya and Ross and even Deuce and the whole family. But, you know, luckily, as of now, she's pregnant and everything should be good with the second pregnancy. So I'm glad that even though this broke her down, it didn't break her spirit all the way completely to not try again. And then I believe it also says for her outro, it says that her family finally moved out, but they're 10 minutes away. So, okay, that's a start, right? Then we head over to Drew. Drew, she's coming back to film her confessional because we have to get her side of the story. So as Drew is getting all glammed up, we see Sheree. She's finishing up with her confessional, which it was very interesting to see the behind the scenes of the confessionals. Sheree, she's done, so she comes into the room. She sees Drew, and this was a very, very sweet moment between them. I actually thought that this was a very genuine moment between them. Sheree, she was just like, you know, I went through a public divorce myself. I know what it's like, and even though me and you had our issues before, you know, I feel for you, and I wouldn't wish this on anybody, including you. I thought that was a very beautiful moment. And then out of nowhere, she also says, my dad, he also passed away recently. And I'm like, wait a minute, where did that come from? It's Drew, she's also taken back, like, wait, your dad passed away? Sheree was just like, yeah, he did, but I really don't feel like discussing this. So she starts getting all emotional. She also gets a big hug from Drew. And again, I thought that the little connection between them was really beautiful and genuine. So Sheree, she walks out before she starts crying. Drew, she's all finishing up with the glam. She gets in her chair. It's go time. Ralph was so pointless in this whole section of the whole episode, because as they're asking him questions, they're like, so Ralph, are you divorcing Drew? Give me 1 second. I need to talk to my lawyer. I can't discuss that right now. Okay, what's your favorite color? My lawyer said I can't discuss that right now. Okay, what's your favorite food? My lawyer said I cannot discuss this right now. Like, he couldn't discuss anything. So it's just like, what's the point of you being on this chair? Drew, on the other hand, whoo, she was talking like a bird. Because she was just like, yeah, there was some infidelity. You know, he controlled me. He gaslit me. He was a horrible man. And I lost my voice in the whole relationship, the whole marriage. And that's just not me. And I'm done with it. I'm done. That's that. I just, you know, this whole situation between me and my... Can we cut for a second? Just take my mic off. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, my phone. Ty and Drew Sidora are together. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you see this? Did you see this? It's all over the news. What? This is crazy. What? Like, Drew, what? Like, 1 second she was boo-hooing, she was crying, sobbing all over the place. And then 2 seconds later, she was smiling and all, you know, happy and bubbly and everything just because the news of her and Ty broke out on the internet. Like, what? Like, Drew, even though I'm on your side for the most part in this whole situation, you know, you also seem like a big liar, or it seems like you're hiding about something. But they asked her, do you know Ty? She says, yeah, she's a former basketball player. You know, we met on Candy's movie set, but that's it. We're just friends, and that's that. They asked Ralph, so did they ever have something going on between them? But Ralph, he refused to talk about it. He says that that's part of the whole legal thing. And my thing is, I'm guessing that he filed for divorce because he thought that she was cheating on him. They never like when you play the same games against them that they used against you to begin with. Like, it's so funny to me, Ralph, that now you're crying about it. But Drew, she continues crying, and then all of a sudden, we see Courtney. She pops up in the confessional. They start asking her, so, what do you know about this whole situation? And I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? And then Courtney begins to say everything. I mean, she was fighting for her man. The man in question being Ralph, her cousin. She goes on to say, I mean, I didn't think it was a secret. I mean, I thought that they were out there publicly with their relationship. I mean, Ralph, he did tell me, you know, what was going on between Ty and Drew. And I mean, I didn't think anything of it. I mean, I knew that they were together, and I have a couple of pictures in my phone about them, but I wasn't going to put that on camera. You know, I'm not dumb. You know, you shouldn't have left me with all the vodka. And I'm like, Courtney, you're on camera still. Stop talking. But then the messy side of me said, keep talking. But then she talked way too much because she kept going on and on and on. And then she kind of, you know, she kind of went over the line a little bit because she was just like, you know, I mean, I don't understand with Drew. You know, I mean, Drew, I feel like, you know, that's why she pushed so much with this whole, you know, adoption thing between Ralph and her son. Maybe that's why, because she wanted to go off with her gay relationship and, you know, make money and have Ralph pay all the bills. And I'm like, Courtney, you did not say all of that. Like, what? She basically said that, you know, Drew wanted this whole adoption last season with her son to Ralph and wanted Ralph to be the father because she wanted to run off with Ty and be together. Like, what? Like, Courtney, yeah, you were just doing an interview not too long ago saying that Kenya was a mean girl. She was mean-spirited. She was this, that, and the third. Yet this comes out of your mouth. And then on top of that, her being on Candy Speak On It episode this past Sunday, that didn't make it any better either for her or Candy, because she went on to say that Drew's sister, Allison, she didn't really believe that she had any type of depression, any type of mental health issues or anything like that. She was drinking tequila and she just didn't look like somebody who had mental health issues. As if people who suffer from depression or mental health issues don't walk around on a daily basis trying to hide it and mask it so other people don't notice it. Like, Courtney, you do know that that's possible, right? Like, what a dumb statement. And then on top of that, Candy, she didn't make it any better by continuing laughing with her by saying, oh yeah, at first I didn't really believe that Allison had mental health issues myself. And eventually Candy, she took the whole episode down. She edited out the whole conversation between them and then she re-uploaded it. But it's too late now because it's already all over the internet. So that was pretty unfortunate. So that's that. That's the way the season ends. And now we're off to the reunion, I guess. It's only a 2-part reunion. That is crazy, but you know, like I said before, supposedly there's rumors of everybody being fired and they're going to recast a whole different reboot cast for next season. We don't know. We shall see what happens with that. But let me know what you all thought about this whole entire season down in the comments. And thank you to every single one of you for supporting my channel this entire season, for watching this season alongside with me, for watching my reviews, for taking time out to watch my reviews, or to leave your comments, your thoughts, or your sweet words. I really, really, really appreciate your support. And I will see you all at the first part of the reunion next week. So bye, everybody. Mwah.